All right, good day to all. Sam here with you. Now, we will get to the TA in just a minute here, but before we do that, I just want to draw your attention for any of you that perhaps have not seen any of our promotional material, any videos of late. Just take a minute here to alert you to the new version of Trade Devils that's coming out here. I'm over here on this landing page that we've set up so you can get some more information if you're interested. And we are here at v2.tradedevils.com. Link will be directly below the video. So before that, just to briefly, let me just say that as many of you probably know now that we have some major changes in store for Trade Devils. We're upgrading everything in a very big way and I'll be rolling it out over the coming months. So we've got some really exciting things in store for our free, for our social, and for our educational members, from custom indicators and online tools to support your trading journey, to new courses and some interesting new ways we will be introducing to give members the opportunity to interact with our team. So if you've been an active follower of Trade Devils on any of our social media channels and you want to continue to get the latest market analysis, or if you're thinking about perhaps dipping your toe into the community, well, we now have options for you to get involved. For those of you that are looking to take your trading, up to the next level, check out our educational package, which includes full access to the Trade Devils belt system, as well as full access to our team's technical analysis through the Discord. So if you're interested in any of that, again, there'll be a link underneath here over at V2 to get to that, and down here where you would want to indicate your interest, we've got, so you'll get some more clarity on what I mean by social, educational, and the free membership here. And if you're interested in any of these, all of this, of course, give you some idea of what's available to you. But I just draw your attention to this. If you were to select, for example, educational, if that's where your interest was, you're not making a commitment here of any sort, right? There's no payment here. It's just letting us know that you're interested in that particular membership. So it's going to just send you an email with an invite on the day that we launch, as well as a referral link should you decide you'd like to perhaps refer anyone in your network or universe over to Trade Devils as well. And there will be some nice bonus content for that, for you making that referral as well. All right, so enough of that for today. Now, I will tell you this, I'm handing over the reins to one of my lead senseis here. Sensei Hove will be walking through the TA today. I'm just buried in a workload of to-dos prior to our launch, so he'll be taking over, certainly for this week. Perhaps I'll pop in on Friday or early part of next week as we get through some of the things we've got planned out for the rollout coming it looks like it's going to be February 10th is what we're looking at right now. All right, so with that, I will pass it on over to Sensei Hove.
What is up, guys? Hove here, taking over for Sam today so he can take care of some TDU 2.0 stuff for the rollout. I'm going to do a quick market overview of Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Ripple. I'm going to focus mostly on Bitcoin since it's what matters the most, and I'll give you the arguments for both bull and bear case for all three of them. I believe Sensei Tudum is going to be doing a video later covering the structure of the waves, the slope, and past fakeouts that might imply that although the current market structure might look like a series of three waves, it could be an impulse off the low. So when I'm done here, I'll post the charts on my Twitter so you can see them clearly. You can go to @SenseiHove to check them out. And you can also give me a follow over there where I do a bunch of chart updates and I thread them so they're easy to follow along so you can see how I got from point A to point B on the most recent update. So let's jump right into it. You can see I have the Bitcoin chart in front of me, and this is going to be the bullish case off the low. This is the best count I can come up with for a clean impulse. I'll say clean just because there's no invalidations of this count. But I don't love it. It looks super choppy. Like I mentioned, it looks like a series of ABCs all over the place, which doesn't imply that we have an impulse off the low. But I wanted to try to dig out the best count that I could for you guys to give an argument there. So you can see that we have the one here. I think we get a sideways combo for the two. The reason I think that is because this looks like ABC. It would be really difficult to get a 5-wave count out of this. yeah, to me, it would be impossible. You can take a channel, place it there and there, and you see we get the low. It implies ABC here, so that's the only way I can think of it. I think we get a rip up with the very shallow 2, and then we have this expanding leading diag for the 1, another shallow 2, 3, 4, and 5 to complete the third of this move, third of the third. Yeah, that is a third of the third. And then we get a deep 4 after a sideways 2, so we get the alternation there. And then we get a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in it would be an extended 5th of this third. So now we've completed the third of this whole move. You can see what we'll do here is take a fib from our 2 low through our 3 high, and oops, let me change that up for us just to make it a little bit easier to see. I don't know which ones this is. No, not that one. There we go. There we go. That should make it easier for you to see and not messed up. So let me zoom out a little bit. So if we are coming down for the 4th, we're going to want to look for alternation again as well. This looks like a sideways, so we're going to look for a very sharp 4th, which we are getting. For something like this, we're obviously going to look for the 4th to get somewhere between the 382 and the 50. To help there, we're going to look at market structure. We'll take a channel and run it from the origin of where our 1 starts through our 2. Let me get that right on there. Project it from our 1 high, and it looks like it's right around here. Now, it doesn't have to stop on there. It's just usually will help with market structure. But so far, this looks like 5 waves down, and then we could be working on an A or a B up and then come down for the C. It's hard to tell, but I would look for this area to get a bounce, see if we can get a little more clarity, but we'll pull a fib here, look for a projection. It's lining up perfectly with that 382, and although this doesn't look finished yet, we would do the same with both a channel and our APP tool to see if we get up to our 50 or 618 and project for that 1 to find some confluences around fibs or what have you. Also, a channel will give you it just like it did over here. I'll put that up real quick. Like so. I mean, that's a confluent area, so you do the same up here. If we do come down to the 382, test it and move off, then we'll go ahead and put a channel in to project for our 5th. Right now, with the 236 projecting for the 5th at around 9,800, we'll say. That's just one algo target. That doesn't mean that has to be the top. We would then do an APP projection from our 1 to wherever our 4th would. We'll look for a confluence there. The 100 is barely above. The 1618 would be the next target up here at close to 10,000. So that is the argument for the bullish case. And now we'll go ahead and take a look at the argument for the bearish case. Let me remove this. And I think I got these set up. Here we go. And we'll put the bearish one on there. All right. So like I said earlier, it looks like a series of ABCs to me. This doesn't have to be a WXY, but I mean, this looks like an ABC. This looks like an ABC. This looks like an ABC. Although this does look like 5 waves down, you can probably get an ABC or some form of combo correction here, double zigzag or whatever, and then an ABC up, or this could be A, B, C just for the Y. It's very choppy. Typically, when I see ugly waves, it doesn't imply impulse to me. It implies a correction is happening, but I don't know for sure. you can play these no matter what. If this is some form of correction, or you're playing the bullish count, you can look for some form of entry if you want it at that channel line that I spoke of earlier, at the fibs, to see if we can get up for, if this is 5 waves coming down, either the 2 retrace or a B retrace, or for the 5th going up. But other arguments for the bearish case is the market structure that we have. Not only do these all channel perfectly well for ABC corrections, but when we look at our larger market structure, we're missing some algo activity. Sorry about that. If we look back now, first we're gonna check out this swing right here. So it's our high to low swing, and we get a perfect golden pocket reaction, and it's a pretty heavy one. We would expect to get a target from something like this, and we didn't get there. And you can say it's a front run, but it's roughly a 5% front run, I believe. That's pretty big. Oh, here, this is the low. That's a pretty big front run, a little under 5% roughly. So I would still expect this algo to be looking to get to target. It hasn't flipped. It's had good reactions at pretty much every fib level. It's got the 50 here. It hovered around this 382, then this 236, but it never got to target. And we'll do the same thing from this high through this low. We just barely wick through the golden pocket. So we can see that we got reaction here at the 236, reaction here at the 382, and the 50, 50, 618, 65. So you can see that the algos are still in play on the bearish side. Not only that, but if we pull this fib all the way over, I'm going to remove this one real quick. All the way over, we can see that this same fib is still in play. We still got the reaction at the 236 to the tick, and now we're reacting at that 382 to the tick. So it shows me that this algo is still selling heavily because it hasn't reached the target. Do we have to get there? No. Algos miss all the time, but seeing a reaction like this with all the bearish algos making it from the top down, it makes a pretty good argument that we would at least need to get to this level to realize these targets before moving up. What else? I mean, overall, I have a count that finishes us at this low, which would this would be an A, B, C ultimately ending here. It's really difficult. I don't love it. I'm going to show it to you right now. I think it is this one. This is a very difficult count to get anything, but I would have it as an A, triangle B, and then you get this 1, 2, another 1, 2, 3, 4. The third goes in here. You get this triangle fourth, and then another choppy 5 waves down. It's valid, but it is ugly as well. It's really hard to get any high probability account here. With that said, I mean, for me, what I see is wave structure from our low being, oops, sorry, wrong one. Wave structure from our low being pretty difficult to count, looking like 3 waves across the board all over here. we didn't get our algo target down here. We're running into those same algo reactions, and we're also running into this pull at the 6.5. We barely got through. That's nothing more than a wick on higher time frames, so I'm not considering it a break just yet. I mean, it's hard. It's ugly on the way up. It's ugly on the way down. I can't give you a definite answer of whether it's an impulse off the low or not, but you can still play the market regardless if it's a B correction and we need to come down, or this is an impulse off the low. So far, this would just imply 3 waves to me if it is the impulse count. Let me go back and show you that. Let me remove that stuff. So far, this is 3 waves. We're coming down for a 4th, we get a 5th. If we get this 5th up to this level, it'll add a little bit more clarity in it. Then we're going to ultimately want to pull from the low and then look for somewhere around the 618 for our 2 wave, and then go from there. I'm pretty sure this is getting pretty long, so let me jump into Ethereum. Whoops, wrong one. Ethereum is roughly the same. This is my bullish count. I think we get a 1, 2 after this sideways correction. Then a 1, 2, finished at 3rd here, coming down for the 4th of the 3rd before we ultimately get up a little higher. The bearish count I'm working with is also, let me pull it up right here. It's a WXY into this larger B. The reason why I kind of am looking at it this way, where we completed an impulse down here, is because this whole time when we were looking to try to find some B around here, if this was an X, it's difficult to want to call any of this a B because it doesn't correct enough in both price and time to constitute this whole move. So I'm almost looking at this as an A. We're coming up for our B, and you see we are getting fib reactions at this 382. It's not great, but this is the count that the bearish count I'm following for Ethereum, and this is the bullish count that I'm following for Ethereum. I'll then jump into XRP. Let me close this real quick. XRP, here is the bullish count. We got the 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th, finishing our 3rd of our 3rd of the 3rd. So we'd look for a reaction here, come up. This is what I'd like to see if it is an impulse off the low. And then for our bearish count, I think I have it both on here. Yeah. Oops. There we go. For our bearish count, I would have this as an A, triangle B, and then we worked on the C here, where this is 1, 2, 3, and we get an extension in the 5th for C. Now, it's hard to say which I like most. The bearish count looks good. We get reaction at all these fib levels. I also, in the grand scheme of things, my macro looked like XRP needed 1 more down. But I want to give you guys both cases and let you decide where you think we are. Regardless of the market structure, you should have a plan, whether this is bull or bear. And here you can see that both the bullish and bearish cases are there to be made. If this is a wave 1 down to start this last move down, then you're going to look for a 2 going up and then a 3 to get in. Or if this is the 4 going down and you're going up, well, there's an entry here. I'm not telling you to take it, but if you wanted to trade the market, it's a win-win scenario, because we would expect at least a retrace here before moving down, or this is going up to start going on to newer highs. So that is both the bull and bear case for Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Ripple. It's really up to you guys to choose or figure out what you think is best. I do still have a bearish bias overall, just because of the arguments that I gave you on Bitcoin for the algos not getting to target, the wave structure looking like a series of ABCs, and just it is difficult to get an impulse off the low, but it's not impossible. I lean that way, but I can play both the bull and bear case and still end up making money. I think that's all I got. If this is too long, sorry. It's hard to get every idea you have in your head out in a quick enough time. All right, guys, I hope that helped.